Okay, so I joined by Robert, and part of the legacy family and the performing property culture is very much around sharing, and you're a great testament to that, Robert. So thank you for joining for a chat to understand your journey and where you've come from.
No
So
problem.
tell us a little bit about when you came through the course and how it was for you.
Came through the course about 3 years ago. At the time, at the time I was feeling sort of a bit trapped in my job. Really, I didn't really feel like I was making enough money to sort of keep the family. We got a couple of children, so we'd saved enough money to sort of keep Kelly off, my partner Kelly off, so that she can sort of look after the kids during those early years. But we rapidly went through those savings like nobody's business. As you do, it's only a modest life, but life costs. So we got to the point where Kelly had to go back to her corporate job in order to sort of make ends meet, and you think at that point it would be getting easier because the money's gone up. But of course, with selling your time for money, which you do with any job, as one stress goes down, another stress goes up. So the time stress became a lot more. Certainly, we both felt maxed out. We're trying to sort of look after the children and get them to school clubs and things like that, get them to school and then go out and do a day's work and then get back and things like that. So we were both pretty maxed out, really. So I basically needed to look for a way of getting an extra income without actually sort of leaving jobs and having to start again on a lower rung or something like that. And so I luckily saw one of your adverts and came along to a free seminar, and it was quite eye-opening. It was great. I was given a list of books to look up, and I thought, this is great. I'd been along on my own, and I got home and I said to Kelly, it's on again tomorrow. Why don't you go to the one tomorrow?
Great.
Because I knew that we were both looking for something, and I knew the journey would be a lot easier for me if I had her on board.
Of course, sure. So bit of pain, bit of kind of a sense of your time short, everything's stretched to you're maxed out is a phrase you use, and then you go along to a preview, an introduction to. So what happened at that preview for you that made you think, right, this is what I want to do?
Well, I guess, I mean, everyone hears of people that have done really well in property, and you also hear of all the people that have lost a lot of money in property. So I guess I'm a little bit cautious, and I wanted to do it right. I didn't feel like I had the capacity to sort of try and make too many mistakes, especially in property, because you can either make or lose a lot of money in it. So that while I was there, I was basically looking around the room at the people that were there, and they all seemed to be pretty comfortable with where they are, pretty confident with their position in life because they were financially free. And I thought, what a great situation to be in. Fancy being financially free, so you can still go out to work, but you've got that passive income coming in behind that sort of takes the stress away. So then if you don't want to do the work, or you want to do a different work, it's not a problem. You can go and do that. And just on that initial seminar, I mentioned earlier, they gave me sort of a reading list of things to do, and the customers that I know you'll have read and I'll have read, and I'm sure a lot of people that are now watching this, if they haven't already read, they'll go on to read things like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Richest Man of Babylon, things like that. That it just shows you a different way in life, really. So I read them voraciously and realised that this is it. This is what I've got to do. Although we felt like we didn't have much of a much spare in our life, I think it just gave us the ability to sort of it allowed us dare to dream again, really, to sort of think outside just what was the immediate and getting by. It allowed us to plan for the future. I mean, legacy, perfectly named, because also, what do you want to do when you've got kids? You want to leave them a legacy.
Absolutely. So you had the dream was starting to materialize, gaining some clarity in your heart, and then presumably what came next was, well, I need the knowledge to do that. How was that process in terms of upskilling and increasing your knowledge base?
Well, I guess I've always had a bit of a love of learning anyway. So to actually sort of get to the courses and learn the nuts and bolts and learn the strategies of what to do, how to do it, how to assess what it is you want. That was the other big thing, because, go into property, but, there's lots of different strategies you can go for. And this one's for if you're already comfortable, but you want to build wealth. But, there's ones over here that can be, immediate sort of money in your pocket. And those are the ones we went for to try and make ourselves feel better. And I guess what you do is once you've moved from that, or once you're comfortable here, you can then move across to some of the other strategies that then go on to sort of help. And there's so many strategies. There's so much to learn. It's a great thing. It can feel a little bit daunting at first, but just to try and get a start. And of course, it's not just the learning in the classroom that you get. You also get the backup sort of help from people. I mean, I've made so many like-minded friends now from the courses that I know, at any moment I can pick up the phone to and I can say, I've got this situation, I've got this deal, I've got this whatever. What do you think? And I'll get sound advice. It's not just like the bloke down the pub who's never bought a house. It's actually someone who's been through stuff that you're going through and will be able to help. So it's phenomenal. So it's the learning side, it's the backup side as well. Yeah,
I think that's a very typical story, and it's great to hear it. You put that very eloquently. That ability to pick the phone up. In terms of your specific mind shift, just give us an idea of where you were prior to the course, if you were to sum that up, and where you are now, having been through the course and gained new knowledge.
Great question. Before, I guess I had the mindset of, if I want to get on, I've got to work really hard. But you do have to work in order to get what you want. But you've also got to work smart, and you've got to work on the areas that are going to be more worthwhile to you. So, with my job, where I was basically selling my time for money, and to be fair, it probably wasn't enough money for the time I was selling them, in my opinion. Now, I now take a significant amount of unpaid leave from them, so that I can go and do the things that I know I want to do, which are things like looking for properties, even getting involved with refurbs, driving to investment areas, meeting up with agents and all sorts, and investors, meeting up with investors, and sort of just the mindset in what I do with my time, I guess, is quite significant. I was never one really for self-development. Kelly, my partner, loves all the self-development stuff. When when she was off with the kids, she trained as a yoga teacher, set herself up with a little business, so she was fully into the self-development stuff. And she was saying to me, "Oh, you should look at this." But it wasn't until I sort of saw the effect I could get from it once I came through Legacy that I then picked up on it. And I've got to say, I'm a big convert. Self-development books, yes, absolutely. I can't listen to the radio anymore. If I'm driving around, I just cannot listen to the radio, because I just think it's a load of old twaddle. Whereas instead, I've got Audible, and I'll have a book on, which will be either a technical book or a self-development book, or just an inspirational book, maybe from a biography from someone who I find particularly inspirational. And feeding your mind that good quality stuff all the time does shift your head to a better place from whatever's on the radio at the moment.
Yeah. It's a great point, and I think, you know, the self-development stuff is great, especially when you've got somewhere to direct it. You know, so, something so material and substantial as property, and you have the dream and you have this vehicle that's going to give you it. Then it all kind of starts to make sense, doesn't it? So no, that's great. It sounds like the journey's well underway. Where would you say? So you started with that dream when you came through the course. Where are you right now in you know, on that journey?
Well, Kelly's financially free. We've got her out of her corporate job. She's loving life. She's just come back from a juicing retreat in Turkey, and then literally she landed, and then I'd picked the kids up, and we met in a hotel at Gatwick, and then we flew off again to Spain for a week out there, which was fantastic. So giving time to yourself, and then giving time to sort of family, and spending that time quality instead of thinking, oh, what should I be doing work-wise? That's where we're at the moment. I am probably not far off if I wanted to leave my job, sort of, you know, financially wise, if I wanted to. In fact, now we're investing through sort of limited companies and things like that. There'll come a point probably where the accountant's going to turn around to me and say, Rob, it's probably better if you leave the job. Which, you know, is a nice position to be in, really, isn't it? But at the moment, I'm keeping that on. I actually, although I felt trapped in my job before, I actually don't mind it now. I quite enjoy significant parts of it.
That's interesting.
It is, yeah, because, you know, when something's there as a need, then and you feel obliged to go there just to get the money, it's then different from when you joined doing that stuff, because, you know, most people go into a form of work that they actually quite enjoy. You know, I quite enjoy working with my hands, and then when you've got the pressures taken away, you can then actually sit back and go, oh no, I don't mind doing this. You know, I quite enjoy it, and there's certain parts of it that you enjoy, and those are the ones that you definitely focus on. But I know it will come to an end quite soon, maybe before the end of this year. Just because I've got other time pressures. My property business is not demanding more time, but I'm wanting to give more time to my property business. And if that means I don't have time to go and work for someone else, then that's the thing that's going to have to go. And I'm pretty confident that we can support that. So, you know, especially with the extra time I'll then get to then focus on the property business, I'm absolutely certain that, you know, we'll be fine with that. So it's a good thing.
It sounds like you're in a great place. Just so people are clear, what's the time scale from when you saw that advert, thought I'll go along and have a listen, to where you are now?
Well, I'm quite a cautious guy, Steve, and I didn't really jump into sort of buying stuff and going all in and sort of, you know, getting a big bat out and trying to make the big things. Instead, I wanted to sort of pick a little project, make it work, check it works with the sort of legacy models which we're taught how to do. It did another one, that worked, did another one, that worked. So it was like, okay, I've now got this sort of track record of, you know, just building up gently and almost organically, really, because you can recycle the money that you put in from the beginning, and then when that lump comes out, you can then use it again. And then once you've got that sort of proven track record, then you can go out and sort of talk to other people about, you know, about investing in your business, which is a great thing. So for all in, from sort of when I first saw the advert to now is about 3 years. Right. And you know, if someone said to you, you know, you can effectively retire or almost retire within 3 years, and you were stuck in a job that you didn't like, you'd probably be thinking, no, that's not possible. But, you know, because the income's passive, you know, yeah, I have to do a little bit on it now. Now I've got it up and running, but I'm now looking to take it to the next level where I can not only leave work, but I can leave work and then live significantly more comfortably. And that's what I want to focus my efforts on. It's not because I have to keep sort of, you know, working on the ones I've already done. They're done. They're giving me the passive income. I'm looking at now the next thing to do, and I'm wanting to sort of, move on to those. So, you know, 3 years in, you know, not far off retirable. It's not too bad, is it?
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on everything you've done so far. Sounds like there's an exciting future ahead as well. Just to finish off, what would the one piece of advice you would give to a somebody who's maybe just starting out or haven't seen the advert yet and hasn't been to a preview? What advice would you give them?
Probably go back to the idea that, you know, you can make money in property, but you can also lose money in property. So it's very important to learn how to do it right and learn how to assess what looks like a good deal. And, you know, because two properties can look very similar in slightly different areas, similar sort of price. You know, one will be brilliant for you, another one won't be. And it's learning the difference between those two, I think, is key. You know, although having said that, property is quite a it's quite a forgiving business. You know, even if you have already bought a bit of a howler, you know, give it 10 years, you'll be fine. But, you know, if you want to accelerate things quicker, keep buying the good ones, and then you'll go a long way a lot quicker. Brilliant. We'll keep buying the good ones, Rob. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Thanks, Steve. Nice to see you.